Good day everyone. For term 2, I am going to start with integration. This is the part 1. Let me teach you from the basics of integration. Okay. First, what is integration? Integration is the inverse process of differentiation. I will give you a very simple example for it. That is, if you differentiate x squared, you know it is 2x, isn't it? You know full differentiation. Now, if I integrate 2x, I will be getting x squared. That's all. If you differentiate x squared, you get 2x. If you integrate 2x, you will be getting x squared, right? Now, this is the symbol of integration. It is like an elongated S. Then, I will write what I am going to integrate, that is 2x. This is called the integrand, okay? Whatever you are going to integrate, that is called integrand. Then, here you differentiated with respect to x, so you wrote here no dx. Here you are going to integrate with respect to x, so here we have to write dx. That x is called the variable of integration, okay? So, this is the first step you should do. It is the inverse process. Just as subtraction is the inverse process of addition, division is the inverse process of multiplication, integration is the inverse process of differentiation. This is the symbol of integration. Whatever you integrate, that is called the integrand, and x is called the variable of integration. In all the sums, if you are integrating with respect to x, you will be getting dx. If you have t here, you will write dt like that. We will come to that later. Now, here in integration, in all the sums, we will be adding, that is, I will write here x squared, and I will write 1 plus c. That c is called the constant of integration, okay? In all the integration sums, we will be adding 1 plus c. That c is called the constant of integration. Let me explain to you why we add a c. If you differentiate x squared, you are getting 2x, right? What will happen if you differentiate x squared plus 4? You will be again getting a 2x, because the constant when you differentiate is 0, right? Now, if you differentiate x squared minus 7, that is also 2x. So, whether you differentiate x squared, whether you differentiate x squared plus 4, whether you differentiate x squared minus 7, you are getting the answer as 2x. So, if I integrate 2x, what will I write? Whether x squared or x squared plus 4 or x squared minus 7 or x squared plus or minus some, whatever be the constant. For that only, we are adding one c, that is c may be of any value. So, is it clear why we add that constant of integration? Okay, fine then. Now, let me give you few more simple examples, that is straight examples. Now, you know, if you differentiate sin x, you will be getting cos x, correct? Now, if you integrate cos x, you will be getting sin x plus c. Here, be very clear. When you differentiate cos x, it is minus sin x. But when you integrate cos x, it is only plus sin x. So, you should not confuse. You should be very clear about this, right? Then, if you differentiate tan x, you will be getting here secant squared x. If you integrate secant squared x dx, you will be getting tan x plus c. So, these are straight inverses. Whatever you are differentiating and getting the answer, if you integrate that, you will be getting that. Okay? So, now I hope this basic is clear to you. let me tell you the geometrical meaning of integration. You know, the geometrical meaning of differentiation is you will get the slope of the curve at a particular point. That is called differentiation. In integration, you will be getting the equation of the curves, that is all the curves, the family of curves which are parallel to each other. Now, I gave you this example, that is integral 2x dx is equal to x squared plus c, isn't it? Now, that c can take any value I told you. Now, when that c is 0, actually you are getting the function as x squared. You know, f of x, if that is equal to x squared, you will be getting a parabola like this, isn't it? Y is equal to x squared, or x squared is equal to y, like that. Okay? Now, if that c is 1, we will be getting here x squared plus 1. So, that parabola will be, actually when x, it is like this, no? Y is equal to x squared plus 1. So that you will get x squared is equal to y minus 1. So here, if you put x is equal to 0, you will get y is equal to 1. So you will get from this point, you will get a parabola like this parallel to this. Then you may get another parabola like this for different values of the c. You will be getting the family of curves. Here it is parabola which are parallel to each other. So this is the geometrical meaning. So you should know what integration means geometrically also. For that I want you to know this. Now first let me give you some basic formulae which are just the inverse of the formulae of differentiation, and we shall start with that, how to tackle the sums. Okay? So let me tell you the formulae now. All of you, keep a separate notebook in which you have to write all the formulae and concepts. Actually, that's very important in mathematics. If you write all the formulae and concepts in one notebook, whether it is MCQ type or whatever type of exam you face, whether objective or subjective, that will be very useful to you, because on the day of the exam, you can just go through that and go, because that is the main thing you have to do. So now, I have now given 16 formulae to start with, which are almost like straight inverses of the formula of differentiation. Leave the first one for a moment. If you look at all the things you know, e power x, if you differentiate, you get e power x. So if you integrate also, you get the same thing. Then here log mod x, that mod is introduced because within log anything should be a positive thing. Okay? So now log x, you know the differentiation is 1 by x. So here the integration is log mod x plus c. And you know for cos x it is minus sin x. So for sin x it is minus cos x. Like that, if you see all the things, it will be a straight inverse formula. Now, I want to come to the first one. You know in differentiation, if you differentiate x power n, you will be getting n into x power n minus 1. Here, to have the x power n here, we have just changed the formula a bit. So, it is integral x power n dx is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. Here you have to note this, which is very important. N not equal to minus 1. I will tell you when it comes by an example, so that you have to remember. So now what you are all going to do? First, keep a separate notebook. In that, you write first these 16 formulae, so that whatever sums we are going to do, that will be based on these formulae only, and then when we go ahead, I will give you more formulae. Okay? So be very clear about these formulae, and you read it again and again till it get registered in your mind and you know them by heart. Okay? Now let us start. First sum, a very simple sum I have taken. Integral x power 5 dx. So, you should use the first formula, that is integral x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. Here in the place of n you have 5, so you will get here x power 5 plus 1 is 6 by 6 plus, that's all, right? Now, what is integral x power 10 dx? X power 10 plus 1 11 by 11 plus c. So, this is the easiest and basic sum first to start with. Now, you look at the sum number 2. Here, I have that x power 5 in the denominator. You cannot integrate keeping this in the denominator because that x power n formula is used only when that x power n is in the numerator. So, what is the first step I have to do? I have to bring it to the numerator, so that becomes x power minus 5 dx. You know the rules of exponents, right? So, now in the place of n, you have a minus 5. So, now use the same formula. You will be getting x power minus 5 plus 1 by minus 5 plus 1 plus c. What is minus 5 plus 1? Minus 4. So, you will be getting x power minus 4 by minus 4 plus c. You can write it in a better format. That is, you can bring the negative exponent down as a positive. So, I will write it as minus 1 by 4 x power 4 plus c. Do you follow? So, the first sum is a very straight. The second one, what did we do? Whatever is in the denominator in the form of x power n, we took it to the numerator so that the exponent became minus, and then we used the same formula, then we wrote it in the proper format. Okay. Here, if you look at the third sum, it is not very different, but only thing you know, if it is root x, it is x power half. Your n is half. Suppose you have that root x in the denominator, you first bring it to the numerator, so that will become x power minus half, and then use the same rule. Okay. So, now this I will write it as x power half dx. That is, here I am just writing it properly, so I am putting the integral sign. But now at this step, I am going to use the formula, that is, I am going to integrate. So, it will become x power half plus 1 is nothing but 3 by 2 by 3 by 2 plus c. This you can reciprocate and you can write it as 2 by 3 x power 3 by 2 plus c. Are you okay with all the three sums? Okay. Let us move on to the fourth sum. See here, I have now three terms. That is integral 2x squared minus 3x plus 7. If you have three terms or four terms with a plus sign or minus sign in between, that doesn't matter. Actually, you can integrate them as a whole term by term, or you can write as separate integrals and do, but actually there is no need for it. So, now here this 2, you need not do anything, it is just multiplying. So, you can write that 2 as it is. Okay. Then x squared. How will you integrate x squared? You know that it is x cube by 3. So, write here x cube by 3. Okay. Come to the next term. You write that minus 3 as it is. You have an x there. That means it is x power 1. Okay. So, use the formula x power n. So, you will be getting x squared by 2. Now, you just have a constant here. What does it mean actually? It is 7 into x power 0. Because you know x power 0 is 1, right? So, now you keep it as 7 into x power 0 in your mind. So, when you integrate, you will get 7 into x power 1 by 1, which is 7x. Or you can remember like this hereafter. If you have a constant, you will get an x along with it. If you have plus 7, you will get plus 7x. If you have plus 3, you will get plus 3x. If you have minus 5, you will get minus 5x. Okay? The reason is, it is like x power 0. So, when you integrate, you are getting an x. So, here I will be getting plus 7x. Don't forget to add a c. Okay? Actually, now whatever we are studying, they are all called indefinite integrals. But anyway, you keep it as integration. Later on, when I come to definite integrals, I will tell you the difference. So, now you have to add one c. Now, let us write it a bit proper. 2 by 3x cube minus 3 by 2x squared plus 7x plus c is the answer. Is this clear to you? Now, see the fifth sum. Instead of some numbers, I have just taken some letters like A, B, C, D. There is nothing. It's a very small change only. Now, first let me write that A as it is. Okay? I have an x cube. How will I integrate? It is x power 4 by 4, right? I think now that will be a bit clear to you after doing the 4 sums. Then plus B you write as it is. How will you integrate x squared? X cube by 3. So write now x cube by 3. Then write minus c. You have an x. What will you get? X squared by 2. Correct. So x squared by 2. Then this is a constant. I told you when you get a constant, it will be just one x with it. You remember? 7 means 7x, 4 means 4x, d means dx, e means ex, like that. So now I will get a plus dx plus, I already have a c here, so I don't want to write another c for the constant. So I will write some k, where the k is the constant I am introducing. Okay, so here when you get 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, whatever it is, plus sign, minus sign in between them, you can actually integrate each term separately. Even in differentiation we used to do like that. So here also the same rule follows. So are you okay with these 5 sums? Shall we go further? Okay. 6th sum. Integral 2x plus 3 the whole squared dx. Here I want to explain to you something which you have to remember very well. Okay. Here whatever is in the bracket, that we call as linear algebraic function. This is a very important term you have to remember in integration. That is, whatever formula you have learned so far, that will apply only for linear algebraic functions. That is, functions, sorry. Now, integral 2x plus 3 the whole squared means, since I have a linear here, linear means an x term and a constant term, okay. If I have, I can use the formula here that x power n, that is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 formula, and for this coefficient I have to divide. Actually I have to teach you the coefficient comes means what to do in all the cases, but here I want to make clear that because it is a linear function, I can use that x power n formula, but I am not going to do using that because I want to teach that concept clearly. But supposing I have here 2x squared plus 3 the whole square dx, here I cannot use that formula x power n because I have a quadratic here. So only this point I want to make it clear to you. So in not only in this, in almost all the formulae, you should have a linear algebraic function. Remember this. I will be emphasizing and I will be giving you examples in the sums we are going to do further also. So now I am going to teach you, because you have a whole square, you know the formula for a plus b the whole square, isn't it? So now I am going to apply that formula. So I will be getting 4x squared plus 9 plus 12x dx, correct? So when I know the formula like a plus b the whole square, I have just used that. Now it has come in normal 3 terms with a plus sign in between. So now I can integrate 4 into x cube by 3 plus 9 means I told you you will get 1 x, you remember? This is 12 into x squared by 2 plus c. Here of course you can cut and you can write it properly. Okay? Now, coming to this one, again this is not a linear algebraic function. So definitely I have to expand it using a plus b the whole square only, and then only I have to proceed with this sum. Here, root x the whole square will be x, correct? 1 by root x the whole square will be 1 by x. Then 2 into root x into 1 by root x means this root x and this root x will go. I will be getting only a 2. So this will be in my integration and I will get a 2. Right? Now listen carefully. For this x I can write x squared by 2. Here you have 1 by x. Now you may think now you can take it to the numerator, isn't it? That is, if you take it to the numerator, what happens? X power minus 1. Now you remember in the first formula, I told you, you have to remember n not equal to minus 1. I will tell you the reason why is it. See, supposing I take it like this, okay? I take it to the numerator and I write it as x power minus 1 dx. Now, use the rule. X power n plus 1, that is x power minus 1 plus 1 is 0 by n plus 1. So you get something like infinity, isn't it? That is why when n is equal to minus 1, that formula cannot be used. You have another formula. You should remember that. That is integral 1 by x dx is equal to log mod x. You have that formula, remember? So now when you have just that x, that is that power 1 in the denominator, here I have to use it as log mod x. Okay? Then for this 2, it's a constant, so 1x, then put 1c. So this is the answer for this sum. Do you follow that? That is when n is equal to minus 1, what happens is when we integrate using the x power n formula, you get only infinity. Okay? So you are given a separate formula for that, that is integral 1 by x dx is equal to log mod x plus c. Use that and write. Okay? Are you clear with these two sums now? Now, see this sum. It is a product. You know, you don't have a product rule. I have not taught you that, right? So there is no product rule in integration. So here, when you get like this, you have to actually expand the terms and then only you should start integrating. So here, what will I get? I will get 2 root x plus x root x is nothing but x power 3 by 2, isn't it? That is x power 1 into x power half gives you x power 3 by 2. This is x power half. So now 2 into x power half, when you integrate, you will get x power 3 by 2 by 3 by 2. You should know when with a fraction when you add 1 what will happen. That is half plus 1 is 3 by 2. 3 by 2 plus 1 is 5 by 2. 5 by 2 plus 1 is 7 by 2. Like that you should know. Here you have x power 3 by 2. So you will get x power 5 by 2 by 5 by 2 plus c. Now let us write it properly. This will become as 2 by 3. So 4 by 3 x power 3 by 2 plus 2 by 5 x power 5 by 2 plus you will get a c. So when you get like this a single term and some bracket, you have some terms, you multiply, that is you expand the bracket and then you start integrating each term separately. The ninth sum also the same rule applies. Here you have 2 terms in the numerator and you have a single term in the denominator. So divide. So what will happen now? You will be getting 2 by cos squared x, you can write it as 2 secant squared x, isn't it? Because 1 by cos squared x is secant squared x. Then 3 sin x by cos squared x, I will show you here. Sin x by cos squared x, I am writing cos x into cos x. Sin x by cos x, I can write tan x. 1 by cos x, I can write secant x. Okay? Because I have a formula, integral secant x tan x dx is secant x plus c. For that I am writing it in that format. So I have a minus 3. I will get tan x secant x. Do you follow what I have done? I am dividing each term by cos squared x and I got it like this. Now I have a formula for this. I have a formula for this. So it is a very straight thing. So I will get 2 tan x minus 3 secant x plus c. So have you understood all these 9 sums? So let me just give you a quick recap of what you have learned. So when you have an x power n like thing in the numerator, you will use the formula x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. If you have an x power n format in the denominator, take it to the numerator and then your n will become negative and then apply the same formula x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Okay. If you have 2 terms or 3 terms or 4 terms with plus sign or minus sign, you can integrate each term separately. If you have a product like thing, one term outside and some terms inside the bracket, expand the bracket and then integrate. If you have one term in the denominator, divide each term and then you integrate. Okay? In the first formula, remember, n not equal to minus 1 is very important, because when you get like 1 by x thing, you have to write log mod x. So hope you are clear with these things. So if you are in CBSE and if you are using the NCERT textbook, you can try all the sums in 7.1 exercise. If you have any doubt, you can always contact me in my WhatsApp number. I have told many times. So if you are interested, you can note down this number. My number is 9841424159. You can contact me. You can say your name and the school, and I can have a group. I already have Relax and Learn group. In that, whatever be your doubts, you can always ask and I will surely help you in whichever school, in whichever city you study. Okay? So now this is my number. Please make a note of it. So today I have taught you the base of integration. Then let me continue in the next video further. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please share it with your friends. Thank you once again.